What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Rev. Hey, today we're going to be looking at 10 of the worst Money in the Bank decisions ever made. First time coming across the channel, make sure I go to hit that thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe because we almost at 4K and I won't be able to hit that 4K without you. So continue to show the support, continue to subscribe. We're going to get this 4K. But look, the worst cash-ins of Money in the Bank, basically. I say Money in the Bank decisions. Worst Money in the Bank decisions ever. First time coming to the channel, come across 4K, like I said. But if you got any videos you want me to react to, in particular, let me know down below in the comments. Or you can hit me up on my social medias. My social medias are here. But hey, without further ado, I appreciate all of y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all for watching this video. Even if you don't press the like button, thank you. Because you watched it. But look, let's get into this video.
The Money in the Bank ladder match has been a WWE staple since 2005.
Okay. Before we continue, I wish they would bring Money in the Bank back to WrestleMania. I missed that. They kick off WrestleMania with the Money in the Bank. That was I loved that. I don't know how y'all feel about that, as Money in the Bank being his own premium live event now, but I really liked the Money in the Bank ladder match at the beginning of WrestleMania.
First introduced at WrestleMania 21, the concept features men and women attempting to climb a ladder to retrieve a briefcase, which guarantees them a title shot within the next 12 months. The match concept is one of WWE's most successful match types, and in 2010, they decided to make its own pay-per-view event. Now, there have been some major success stories when it comes to the Money in the Bank briefcase, with Edge, Seth Rollins, and Dolph Ziggler all being fantastic and worthy winners. WWE have also known to drop the ball when it comes to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Sometimes they'll award the illustrious briefcase to a
predictions this year. My predictions this year for Money in the Bank are LA Knight. Yeah, that's my men's winner. That's my men's winner. That's my men's winner. And for my women's, I'm gonna go with the genius of the Sky. Io Sky is my women's winner, and she's gonna face Asuka. And they're probably going to fight at SummerSlam. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I hope is going to happen. I think LA Knight deserves the actual run. LA Knight gets a pop every time he comes out there. So I don't understand why they haven't given this man a chance. But they should at least give him a chance on some title. I don't care if he goes and I don't remember. Wait, he's on Raw now? I don't remember. I think he's on Raw now. But if he's on Raw, give him an Intercontinental shot. He might not win. Give him a shot. Just give him a shot. Let him display himself, man. I mean, he displays himself on the mic all the time. And he gets a pop every time he gets on the mic. But I think they need to give him a chance. I wish the Bray Wyatt LA Knight thing would have continued. But, I mean, Bray Wyatt disappeared, so I don't know. But, yeah.
Yeah. And the run with the briefcase and subsequent cash-in failed to hit the mark. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at subscribe and check out our new channel. Shocks the world. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, WWE
this was very interesting.
This was the 2020 Money in the Bank match at WWE HQ. The match was highly entertaining as the WWE had the men's and women's matches take place simultaneously. In relation to the women's Money in the Bank winner, this would be rewarded to Asuka. This was a sensible choice as Asuka was credible and that's someone that the fans would want to see have another run with the title. But in relation to the men's winner, WWE made the odd choice to go with Otis. Otis was a tag team wrestler and whilst his storyline with Mandy Rose was well received, he wasn't an individual that fans wanted to see pushed into the main event scene.
No.
Fans were baffled how a comedy act was going to suddenly be a world title contender, and it took a few months for WWE to realize that they had no desire for Otis to be in contention for a world title. This led to Otis dropping the Money in the Bank briefcase to The Miz at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and Otis would be moved dramatically down the card. Number 9. Wasted opportunity. Damien Sandow was an interesting choice to become Mr. Money in the Bank in 2013. Sandow was over with the crowd and he had a character that had the ability to propel into the main event scene. However, WWE completely wasted his reign when Sandow cashed in on world champion John Cena and subsequently lost his cash-in on Raw. To see a cash-in go down in this manner was a huge surprise and nobody saw it coming, but when Sandow lost to Cena, it was a clear sign that WWE had given up on him. According to Sandow, he was informed that the match was taking place to grab a rating, but Sandow's lackluster presentation in the weeks that followed will be evidence that WWE simply had no plans to have Sandow win the world title. Number 8. Boombox Brock. The men's 2019 Money in the Bank match was on course to become one of the best Money in the Bank ladder matches WWE have ever delivered. Every man in the match shined, and it looked like Mustafa Ali was gonna grab.
I remember this. Yeah, Brock wasn't even supposed to be in this match. It honestly made me mad because he was not even supposed to be in this match. But he somehow get the opportunity to just come out and just join the match. Like, no, that made me so mad.
The briefcase before Brock Lesnar abruptly showed up to win the entire match. This ruined what was on course to be a match of the year contender.
Yeah, look at his
fans were
eyes.
left very disappointed that Lesnar was once again getting a huge moment. Lesnar dancing with the briefcase was entertaining, but his win was something that didn't need to occur. Lesnar would cash in on Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules to become Universal Champion. This was frustrating because Lesnar was champion just a few months prior, so WWE were once again going back to how things were. The main issue was that Lesnar could have won the title back without having to win the briefcase. WWE had a great opportunity to give a young star a run with the briefcase, but for whatever reason, they decided that Lesnar was the correct call. Number 7, sheer laziness. One of the central complaints when it comes to the women's Money in the Bank winners is that outside of the inaugural winner, that being Carmella in 2017, every woman who has won the briefcase has cashed in within 24 hours. This means that we've only actually...
I've never noticed that. We never got to see an actual women's cash in. It's always the same night. I never noticed that. We never got to see a women's Iron Man match and somebody comes running out and go for the win. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen a woman come out at Elimination Chamber. We haven't seen a woman come out at Elimination Chamber after the winner just won the title. We haven't seen any of that. I never realized that. But we always get that for the men, but we never got that for the women.
Seen one woman carry the briefcase and have an actual reign with it. This is annoying as a fan because being a briefcase holder allows WWE to tell compelling stories, but WWE just puts zero effort in when it comes to the women's Money in the Bank winners. This laziness was on full display in 2018. Alexa Bliss won the Money in the Bank match and on the same show cashed it in on Nia Jax to win the title. Bliss was already a multi-time champion, so this was nothing new and exciting, and the main reason Bliss won the briefcase and the title was so that she could eventually drop it to Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. It was the least exciting story WWE could have ever told with the briefcase. Number 6, the Mr. Kennedy debacle. Mr. Kennedy winning the Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 23 was absolutely the correct call. Kennedy was incredibly popular with fans, and the Money in the Bank victory would instantly push Kennedy into the main event picture. Unfortunately, Kennedy's reign was an utter disaster. The story goes that in 2007, the then world champion The Undertaker suffered an injury and WWE needed to take the world title off him. Thankfully, WWE had Kennedy as Mr. Money in the Bank, and they were going to have Kennedy cash in on The Undertaker to become world champion. However, just a few short days before this was going to go down, Kennedy himself suffered an injury. This injury forced WWE to have Kennedy drop the briefcase to Edge, and Edge would be the one to dethrone The Undertaker. Unfortunately for Kennedy, his injury was misdiagnosed. He was originally expected to be out for up to 9 months, but the reality of his injury was that he would be medically healed in just over a month. This meant that...
Wow. Is that why he left WWE? Because I would have left after that. I'm not going to lie. That literally just changed his whole career. Wow. And then he went on to TNA. Wow. That would have had me hot. I'm not going to lie. That would have had me hot.
And in theory, WWE should have been able to keep the briefcase on Kennedy, and the trajectory of Kennedy's WWE career could have been vastly different. Number 5, the most predictable Money in the Bank winner ever. At the main event of the 2012 Money in the Bank event saw former WWE champions collide in the Money in the Bank ladder match. John Cena, Chris Jericho, Kane, Big Show and The Miz all faced off in what was one of the most predictable matches WWE have ever delivered. The match was incredibly lifeless as none of the wrestlers in the match were known for high-risk spots, so the spots in the match were very underwhelming. The dullness of the match aside, the match winner was too predictable to make the match even enjoyable. It was obvious that Cena was winning and there was no way any of the other wrestlers in the match were going to take home the briefcase. Cena inevitably won and became the first wrestler to ever fail his cash-in match as he failed to defeat CM Punk for the title at Raw 1000. Number 4, backstage politics surface. WWE decided to give Baron Corbin the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2017 was a heavily criticized decision.
I miss this version of Baron Corbin. I like this version of Baron Corbin. I didn't like Happy Corbin and all that other stuff. I like this version. You put this version with JBL, I think it would be nice.
Corbin wasn't ready to be world champion, and there were other talents in the match that could have easily won. Nevertheless, WWE were initially high on Corbin, but Corbin eventually got some backstage heat and they decided to end his Mr. Money in the Bank reign in the most embarrassing way possible. The reason that Corbin had backstage heat was utter nonsense, and it stemmed from Corbin arguing with a doctor during a talent meeting in relation to the dangers of CTE. When it came to Corbin's cash-in, he would cash in on then WWE champion Jinder Mahal, and seconds into the match he would be distracted by John Cena, only for Mahal to roll up Corbin and retain.
Wow.
It was a terrible way for Corbin to lose his cash-in, and if WWE didn't want Corbin having the briefcase, they could have easily had him drop it to a top babyface on SmackDown such as AJ Styles or Randy Orton. Number 3. Monster in the Bank. 2018's Male Money in the Bank match was stacked with tremendous talents. The match featured names such as Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens, but WWE made the call to award the Money in the Bank briefcase to Braun Strowman. This was during a time period in which WWE couldn't decide if they wanted Strowman to be a world champion, and it seemed like giving him the briefcase was their opportunity to finally make up their mind. Strowman would cash in by challenging Universal Champion Roman Reigns to a Hell in a Cell match, but this eventual match ended in a no contest after Brock Lesnar interfered. WWE had wasted the briefcase yet again. They evidently had zero desire to crown Strowman, and it once again highlighted the lack of planning and foresight that WWE put into deciding their Money in the Bank winners. Number 2. The Ascension of Swagger. There was a ton of hype heading into Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 26.
Yeah, young Evan boy, y'all young boys don't know nothing about that Evan. Well, he's in AEW, so never mind. I was gonna say y'all don't know nothing about that Evan Bourne, but that Evan Bourne back then was different though. He was different.
Names such as Christian, Kofi Kingston, and Drew McIntyre were all favorites to win the match, but WWE made the questionable booking decision to have Jack Swagger become Mr. Money in the Bank. Swagger was a decent mid-carder, but the idea of seeing him as world champion was something that hadn't even crossed the minds of fans. Following his win, WWE would wait just a matter of days before Swagger cashed in on Chris Jericho on SmackDown. WWE had failed to effectively build up Swagger as a legitimate contender, and now that he was world champion, nobody was taking him seriously. The subsequent reign was a complete flop, and Swagger goes down in history as one of the worst Money in the Bank winners in company history. And number 1, A-Town Down. It came as no surprise.
Oh my gosh, man. This one honestly made me mad. I was watching the day that he did the cash in for the United States Championship, which was I don't understand. I've never seen that in my life. When somebody cashes in for a United States Championship, you're supposed to cash in for a world title. And I guess they were trying to say that this is the world title because now they're starting to call it a world title. They're starting to call it an Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship or whatever they've been saying within the past week or two. They've been calling it that. And this made me so mad because I like the little moments when Theory's music would hit in the middle of the Brock and Roman match and then something would happen. Because we would think that, maybe tonight's the night. Tonight's the night that he cashes in. He's about to go cash in. He gets hit by freaking Tyson Fury or whoever. Or he'll get hit by somebody else or something else will happen. It happened a couple of times and it was pretty enjoyable because you never knew when it was going to actually happen. Then he's going to come out there and cash in for United States Championship. I want to see. I like Theory. I like Austin Theory. I really do. I used to didn't like him, but he's grown on me a lot, and I really like Austin Theory. He's really going to be somebody to keep an eye on for the future for sure. But I think they should have let him steal one, man. I think they should have just let him steal it. Even if he didn't have it for long, they should have let him steal it.
Is when Austin Theory was added to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in 2022. Theory was being heavily pushed at the time and he had several supporters backstage, most notably Vince McMahon himself. Theory would become the youngest wrestler to win the Money in the Bank contract, and it seemed like a certainty that Theory was going to cash in and become world champion. After months of comedic teases, Theory made the decision to cash in on US champ Seth Rollins. From a kayfabe perspective, this made little sense. Why would someone who is guaranteed a world title shot cash in on a lesser title? Theory would justify it as a way of getting to the top, but this was terribly executed. Even worse was the fact that Theory lost his cash-in match, which made him look completely incompetent. It was a
Yeah.
bizarre situation, and it's hard to know what WWE were thinking with this notoriously bad booking decision.
That was Triple H, though. That was Triple H, because that happened after Vince left. Literally after Vince left. So that was all Triple H or whoever. That was just, they probably didn't like the fact that Theory was holding the briefcase. I think that's probably what it was. But then again, a couple months later or a couple weeks later, however long it was, they gave him, another another opportunity for the United States Championship, and he won. So I mean, it is what it is. I guess they just didn't want him to be carrying around the briefcase. That's what I think it was. But and they didn't want to take that off of Roman. So I don't know what they had going on, but I wish they would have just gave Theory the opportunity to just still won. But it is what it is. He's coming. I'm ready for I got a lot to say. I got a lot that I'm excited for. But look, I don't know if it's gonna work out. But anyway, if y'all got any other videos you want me to react to in particular, let me know down below in the comments. But hey, without further ado, like this video, subscribe if you're new. It's your boy D-Rib, man. I'm out.